All right, coaches, are we ready to get started?
Absolutely.
We're ready. Let's do
All
it.
right, Coach Gaeng, I'm going to need you to do me a favor. I'm going to need you to call heads or tails.
Tails.
All right, you call tails. I got this little app on my phone here, just so there's validity in this election process.
We trust you.
All right, it's heads. So, Coach McCracken, you get to decide. You want to go first or second?
I'll defer.
You'll defer. You know, I was the captain of this year for football and coin tosses, and I still am not sure what defer means sometimes. But that's why I just said we'll kick. But
I'll let him go first. I'll kick
All
for
right.
him.
Take the first one.
This will be the first round. So this round will concern your playing careers and coaching careers. And I had to go back and do some digging, even though y'all didn't play that long ago. You're not that old. But this will be a set of 5 questions. So, Coach Gaeng, actually, there are so many fun sets to pull out. I got 6 for you. So we're going to find a way to divvy up the points here.
Sure.
But, all right. Here's your first question, Coach Gaeng. We're going to go way back in time to Mount St. Mary. As a freshman, whoever's running the website, Sports Information, has you making 11 appearances in your freshman year. Can you tell me how many points you had in those 11 appearances? Let's go.
4.
Yes, you got it right. All right. I'm giving you a full point for that one. I was concerned you wouldn't get it. Now,
that's a lot easier to remember than how many Coach McCracken had. That's for sure.
Now, I have you down for assists too. Can you tell me how many assists?
I can't. I'll take a guess. Let's say 5.
Man, I should have given you over under 4 because it was 3. But that's really good. You were able to pull out 4. All right. This one I hope you'll remember. So I'm going to take you back to January 31st of 2007, where Roanoke pulls out a gutty overtime win behind a season-high 6 points from Drew Gaeng to beat this team.
Double overtime, January 31st.
I meant, if I said double overtime, I just meant overtime. It may have been double overtime. I think it was just overtime. But you had your season high.
SUNY Cortland.
SUNY Cortland, final answer?
Yes.
It was Emory and Henry.
I
don't remember. Do you remember that game at all?
I think I do, yeah. We came back. They were playing that the system, the stuff that you play up and down and play crazy. I do remember that one now. So that would be my first year at Roanoke. That was a pretty big win for us. I remember that. We were down big with just a few minutes left, and we wound up tying it up. It was pretty cool. When
I was going through your stats, it goes year by year. So, when you played this year, the next year, there were quite a few stats that pertain to games where y'all played Emory and Henry. So I didn't know if maybe that was a big rivalry.
That's because they play, and you get to pump your stats up a little bit in those games.
Oh, okay. We all get those games. All right, third question. Now, this is going to your time at Hendrix. And if I believe correctly, Coach, you were the assistant men's basketball coach this year in 2012, 2013? Does that sound right? All right, this was your last year, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So in the 2012-2013 season, this junior forward recorded 8 double-doubles and finished second in the SAA for rebounds.
Junior forward. That would be Colton Prim.
That would be correct.
Your neighbor.
My neighbor.
All right. Now this one's fun because you actually got to coach against her this year. Here's your fourth question. Doing her best Steph Curry impression and showing no signs of a New Year's Day hangover, Caitlin Crystal Bigler set a school record for both 3-point attempts and 3-point successes, and she attempted 17 threes. So that was the record for 3-point attempts. Do you remember how many she made? It's a school record.
On January 1st?
Well, it was January 4th, if I remember. I do not remember the year. Probably 2015, maybe. But this is the school record. Still stands today.
How many she made out of 17? I'm going to say 9.
Oh, it's 10. Very 10. Close. But that's the school record.
More credit.
So, So maybe next year we break that record. And we can
let's hope so.
Have a new question next year. But so I believe this was the same season, just a little earlier. You guys recorded an astounding 635 from the field goal percentage. That's a school record. And you also scored the most points in a single game that Hendrix has scored under your tenure as the women's head basketball coach. Do you remember the opponent? And do you remember how many points you scored?
We hit the century mark. I'm going to say 102.
Yes.
And it was against Rust in Memphis.
2 for 2.
There we go.
2 for 2. Awesome. All right, here's your last one for the coach player career. You have coached 4 players who are top 10 all time in defensive boards. I would be nice to you and ask if you could just give me 2. I think you're going to give me all 4. And some of these are repeats. So, for single seasons, they'll have,
Sure.
So 4
single
names.
season.
Yes,
single
sir.
season?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would have coached Jamie Tate for 1, her senior year.
Yep.
Sarah Dislin has at least 1.
I think she might have been on there 3 times.
Okay. I am going to say Madison Martin.
3.
And lastly, although she was probably best on the offensive glass, I'm going to say Heather Prowse.
Whew. Okay. She might have been there. I didn't see her name on the list. I have Anna King.
Anna King. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was good on the defensive glass.
Okay. Yeah, so they were repeats. And, Coach, I got to tell you, when I was going through the women's record books, I saw these names quite a bit, but Sarah Dislin's on there a lot.
I figured she had a few.
Yeah, she is on there quite a bit. All right, so I believe, if I remember correctly, I will tally those up in a minute. Coach McCracken, we're going to move on to you now.
Okay.
And so we're going to go back to your days at Hanover.
He's been coaching longer. It's a little bit hard.
Coach, I got to ask you something too, Coach Gaeng. When I was going through the rosters from your team, you played with a guy named Chris Heron. Does that sound right?
I did play with a guy named Chris Heron.
I looked at that name for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, that's not
right.
Right. Okay.
It's not the most popular Chris Heron, but I did play with
Mm-hmm.
friend. Yep, Chris Heron. Yep.
So, Coach McCracken, I was on Hanover's website the other night, and that campus is really pretty.
It is. Yeah.
That is something.
Right on the bluff of the Ohio.
That's right. So, this is single season. Coach, in 2003, 2004, you set the school record for 3 points made. That record still stands today. How many did you hit?
Single season?
It's a single season record for the school. They might revoke it if you can't tell them.
I don't even know where to guess.
You were close. It looked like you were about to say the right first
79.
76.
Oh.
76.
Yeah.
All right. So there's this is a 2-part, kind of a 3-part question, but there's a second part. You're tied. I can't believe you couldn't just make one more to take the overall record, but I guess you're too nice a guy. You are tied for the career record for 3 points made in a career. Do you know how many you made over your career?
100. No, that can't. I don't know.
More.
229.
Man, 216. 216. So at first you undersold yourself, but okay, here's the little third part. I believe you played with this guy. So I'll just go ahead and give you the hint that it's a team. It was a teammate of yours for a certain amount of years. I don't remember exactly how many years it would have been, but you are tied with this man. Can you think of someone who you might be tied with for most career 3-pointers?
Derek Clevenger.
There you go. All right, we're on the board. Coach McCracken's on the board.
Yep. One of my favorite teammates. Awesome guy. He was a year older than me, so I played with him for 3 years.
All right.
So 2 guys that were lights out.
I going through the record books.
Score just couldn't guard anybody.
All right, Coach, we're going to go to the 2002-2003 season. Y'all started off hot, and you set a school record for consecutive wins to start the season. Do you remember how many wins that would be?
Oh, man. Was it I want to say it's either 11 or 14. I'll go
you are right on one of them.
I know. I'm going to say I'm going to screw this up. 14.
It was 11.
Of course.
Half credit. Give him half.
He has a chance for half credit because y'all set a school record for best record in the regular season that year. Do you at least remember your record?
We were 27-2.
Boom. All right. There we go. All right. Hopefully this is closer to now in the present. So you might have a better time here. Oh, I need to flip this real quick. Let's see.
So what was our winning streak?
You had, so you started the season off with 11 wins. You were 11 and 0. Yep.
Because then we went 11-1, and then we won 16 more in a row.
Oof.
Oh, well.
Because
Maybe
our second loss was in the Sweet 16.
I think there was one team way earlier back in the day set a record for most consecutive wins. That didn't count. You know, it's one of those neat stats, whatever.
So it was
but
to start the season. I'm with you.
There was one team though that went winless the entire year, so at least that wasn't y'all. You know.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. I need to figure out how to phrase this one the best. I'm just going to go with this. In your time here as coach, you have coached 6 of the top 8 players with the most 3-point makes in a single season. Can you at least name 4? And when I say 6 by the top 8, in the top 10, you have some repeats. One guy was especially good at hitting threes, apparently.
Yeah, I would say Preston Smith.
Yes.
Cal Rose.
He was on there 3 times.
Yeah. This single season.
Yes, sir.
Seth Stanley.
Yep, you got 3. If you want to go for all 6, you get bonus points for.
You can get them. Come on, Coach.
Next 2.
All right. Sean Coleman.
That's 4.
Matt Secrease.
5.
One more. I know it.
Chris Goodman.
Yeah.
6 of 6. Coach Gaeng, could you have gotten that?
There we go. No, I did. I wasn't around for all of them.
Okay.
I figured out a couple of them. I was coaching Chris as the assistant. I knew that was the one he was missing.
This is the question I was looking forward to the most, though. And you must have been one hell of a person to live next to in the I believe this was 2013, 2014, because y'all were throwing block parties all year long. You had 3 players finish with 24 blocks that year. Can you name the 3 players?
13, 14. Colton Prim. Alec Connard. Let's see. Drew, it would have either been probably Hank or Luke. Was Hank here then?
Yes, he would have been there. He would have been in his first year there. That would have been my first year coaching the women. I think that's probably between those 2. That'd be my guess.
Luke was a heck of a player. He didn't leave his feet very often.
No, he didn't block a bunch of shots. How many was it, Sandy?
24. 24 blocks.
It's got to be Hank.
Hank's in there.
That's it. How many
you have said the names. Now you have a decision to make. I will give you Hank. Hank is in there. You have said the other 2 guys' names, but I can't tell you who 2. So you have 3 guys left. You said Colton Prim, Alec Connard, and Luke Vance.
Yeah.
So of those 3, you have 2 more.
That we had 5 guys with 24 blocks?
No, you had 3 guys. My bad. What I meant to say is you have Hank, so you have one of the 3, and you have 2 more guys who did it. And you mentioned 3 names.
All right.
2 of them are on there.
Between Luke, Colton, and Alec.
Colton's on there.
Yeah.
Colton's not on there.
Wow.
It's Luke and Alec.
Dang.
I don't remember what he finished with that year. I didn't. We can go back and look at the stat later.
Wow.
Maybe we can bring this in. But let me see. You have 3 other guys who are on that list of the top 10 in defensive blocks in a single season. In a single season.
Carl Fitch.
Carl Fitch is on there.
Nick Heathscott. Andrew King. Is this just head coach or assistant coach also?
Yes, sir. This would be the head coach.
Okay. Nick Heathscott, Colton Prim, Alec Connard, Hank Aldis, Luke Vance, Carl Fitch, Seth. Is Seth up there?
Nope. But you do have one current player also on there besides Carl.
Big Al?
Yep, Big Al. So if I remember correctly, it was so you have Carl and Alec and Colton Prim, I believe was the last one. So,
Yep. Okay.
So that was it. But I had to bring that stat up. I mean, I don't know.
Blocking everything.
That's a lot of blocks.
Well, Sandy, you know, I was a phenomenal shot blocker back in my day.
That's right. Yeah.
Taught him everything I know.
Yeah. All right. So we got out of the hard part, guys. We got out of the coaches and player careers, and we'll move on to the fun stuff now. The stuff
Sandy, that was fun, man. Those were some cool names.
Yeah, they were good
on both the guys and the girls' side. That was cool.
I wanted to get Coach Gaeng's. I wanted to see how many he could get on the boys' side too, because he'd been there for a few years. But some of those stats were so modern that I thought maybe he would have been able to get the one.
I could have probably figured out the 3-pointers.
I think that's what it was, the 3-pointers. Yeah. Maybe if it was assist, Coach, that would have been more up your alley, Coach Gaeng.
Yeah, maybe so.
Handing out assists. I don't know. All right, so now we're going to move on. So we both had you guys on the podcast, and it was, we talked about a lot of things on that show, but we're a football-centered show, so we like talking NFL. And I had heard that Coach Gaeng was a Ravens guy well before. Unfortunately, before they got knocked out of the playoffs, I already knew how bad that hurt you, Coach. I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not here to get you on that one.
But, old wounds.
Yeah, but Coach McCracken, we were off. Should have figured he was a Colts guy. Didn't know how much football he liked, but you like him quite a bit. So we got some NFL stuff going now. So Coach Gaeng, you got to start it off. We're going to alternate this time. We're not going to stay with one guy. Right. So Coach Gaeng, hopefully this one will be kind of easy for you. Who is the youngest? And when I mean the Ravens, we're talking about the Baltimore Ravens. We're not going back to old Colts times. And same for you, Coach. It's only Indianapolis Colts.
Good. That's the only Colts that count.
There's a connection there, anyways, right?
Yeah. So, who is the youngest quarterback to start for the Ravens in a postseason game?
That's got to be Lamar Jackson.
It is Lamar Jackson. All right, Coach McCracken. This one's kind of Colts, kind of not, but this is your guy, so I hope you get it. How many MVPs has Peyton Manning won?
Regular season or Super Bowl?
Regular season. The ones that really matter.
3.
You undersold your guy, Coach. He's got 5. It's a record that probably won't be touched for a long time either.
It shouldn't. It's a GOAT.
That would be tough.
That's right.
It's a GOAT.
All right, Coach Gaeng. We're going to go back just a little before Lamar Jackson's time, although he wishes he had this guy with him. Do you remember the Ravens' very first draft pick? Baltimore.
Very first, number 1 overall, Jonathan Ogden.
Jonathan Ogden, Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Now would be a good time to mention that Coach Gaeng was like valedictorian at his high school, number 1. Like he's got a steel trap.
Photographic memory.
He's got a steel trap of a memory, and I don't have any hair still holding any memories in my head. So I wasn't smart to begin with.
I think I was paying more attention to the sports stuff than the school stuff. That may be it too.
Hey, Coach McCracken, I'm gonna give you a little 2-parter here. How many? We're gonna stay with Peyton Manning, so this is again kind of Colts, kind of not. How many Super Bowls has Peyton Manning played in?
He has played in 3.
He's played in 4.
Has he?
He is 2-2. A lot of people forget about the one that the Broncos
lost. The one to the Saints, right?
That's right.
Indy beat the Bears, lost to the Saints.
Yep.
Won in Denver.
Then they got smoked by Seattle.
Seattle, that's right.
And they beat the Panthers. So
I forgot about the one they lost in Denver.
Mm-hmm. So at least, Coach, let's see if you can get some salvation here.
Okay.
Can you tell me how many head coaches he had in those 4 Super Bowls? So
holy cow. 2 in Denver. 4.
Got it.
Nice.
Know any names? You'll know 1 for sure. At least one of the head coaches' names.
Tony Dungy, obviously. Yep. Oh crap. Mike, the other Colts coach.
I know this one. I didn't even think about. I thought it was Dungy in 2009, but I forgot he had retired before that.
Yep. It was
A very forgettable coach, unfortunately.
I think I know who it is.
They won a lot of games. They just didn't win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Coach Gaeng, if he can't get it, we'll go to you. I won't spoil it.
I was going to call a friend.
All right.
Yeah, phone him in.
Yeah,
right,
it's you. Fox in Denver.
2.
Oh my gosh, I can picture the other guy's face. Fisher, no. Come on, gang, help me out. The other coach in Indy.
In Indy, I know who it is.
Yeah, who?
You want me to say it?
Yes.
Jim Caldwell.
Yep.
Caldwell.
I know. I forgot that.
And he didn't have much of an expression. That's why he's pretty forgetful.
No, he didn't. And then who? The guy in Denver. I can picture
Denver.
him. He's a good coach. He was a really good coach.
Was that the year they won it?
Dark here. No, Fox won it. It was
Fox
before
won
Fox.
Coach Gaeng, I believe this guy now, he retired recently but came back. I believe he has ties with the Ravens.
He does. Gary Kubiak.
Yep. There we go.
That's what I was going to say.
Don't worry, Coach McCracken. I think we have one to get you back on track here after this one. Coach Gaeng, this one might be the tougher of the ones you've got for the Ravens, although I don't think it's that tough. The Ravens' all-time sack leader is?
Terrell Suggs.
Yes. Coach McCracken, I think when this whole thing blows over, we need to take this guy to Zaza's for trivia night.
Yes, I'm telling you. If it's sports trivia, he's got it.
We might get a lot of gelato out of this guy. All right, Coach McCracken, this one should be a little easier. Who is the Colts' all-time leading rusher?
Edgerrin James?
Yes.
Nice.
There we go. All right. Let's see what we got.
I knew it wasn't Peyton.
No. All right, Coach Gaeng, who holds the Ravens' single-season record for rushing yards?
Single-season record for Jamal Lewis.
Yes.
I started to say, is he on staff at Hendrix?
Yes. Yeah. I got a little bonus question for you, too. Was he a 2,000-yard back or not?
He was.
He was over. I think 2,066. Should have written that one down. And all right, Coach McCracken, last one for you for the Colts. Which Colt has the single season record for passing yards? Single season, not career.
Did Luck break it?
It was Andrew Luck. I should have asked that one beforehand because I peppered you with so many Peyton Manning questions. Maybe you wouldn't have thought I'd hit you with a third or not, but yeah. Coach Gaeng, I saw this stat when I was looking this up. It was a fun little trivia question, and I would not have gotten it. And we're about to see how good you are. This does not count against your total. This is just a good little bonus question to throw in there. The first Ravens quarterback to throw for over 400 yards in a game.
Over 400 yards in a game.
I would not have gotten this, but the name is familiar.
Elvis Grbac.
I believe he was one of the options, actually, but it was not him.
That's a tough. It wouldn't have been Tony Banks. Early on. Scott Mitchell?
Mm-mm.
No.
I believe he did not play for the Ravens past 2010. You'll want to go a little earlier. I know all those guys did too.
Kyle Bowler?
It was not Kyle Bowler, no. And it was not Flacco, surprisingly. I thought it may have been Flacco, but –
I'm running out of guys.
Well, this guy, he's got a noticeable name, even people my age. Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny and the Jets.
I know. Yeah. That's right. Would not have gotten it. All right. I believe this one might be – we're going to move on to the next round. And this will be the last round where you guys are going head-to-head. Then we're going to get into a little collective trivia, which the way this has gone so far, Coach McCracken and I might have to lean on you, Coach Gaeng.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
For the collective ones. But this is getting into Indiana and Maryland. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 questions for each of y'all teams. So Coach McCracken gets 4 Indiana questions. Coach Gaeng, you're going to get 4 Maryland questions. And then we're going to switch it up at the very end. And unfortunately, one of you already has the answer to one of the questions, but I think the other one should be okay. So Coach McCracken, we're going to start off with you. This is multiple choice. I'm going to give you the options. Which one of these Hoosiers was never featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated? Scott May, someone you're familiar with, Damon Bailey, John Lethkowski, or Calbert Chaney?
Wow. I believe the answer would be Scott May, because Laz was the super sub, sixth man, and some argued he might have been the second or third best player in the country. Damon was on the cover as a high schooler and then again at Indiana, and Calbert was National Player of the Year, and so I'm sure he donned the cover as well.
Calbert Chaney was the 1993 Player of the Year in college basketball, but he is the only one on that list to have never been on Sports Illustrated.
Oh, Cal.
Yep. I know. I know.
Shocker.
Robbery.
It is.
Robbery.
Good question.
All right, Coach Gaeng. I'm going to go to Maryland here. Let's see if you remember this one. This is NCAA tournament question. Drew Nichols hit a runner at the buzzer against this team to avoid
UNC
an embarrassing.
Wilmington.
Yes.
I remember that one well.
I didn't think that'd be too hard. All right, Coach McCracken. Indiana knocked off top-ranked Michigan State at Assembly Hall in the 2001 season thanks to a buzzer beater from this player.
Kirk Haston.
I figured this one might be a little easy for you guys. Coach Gaeng, this one might be a little tougher. How many players from the Terps championship winning team went on to be drafted? So it doesn't have to be just the year that they won it, but there might have been some underclassmen or juniors who went on to be drafted afterwards.
Okay. So Juan Dixon and Lonnie Baxter and Chris Wilcox went off the team that year. Then that spring they would have been drafted. Those three. Steve Blake certainly was drafted second rounder. That's my guy. 4 total. I don't believe Drew Nicholas was drafted. Did Nick Cantor-Medley get drafted?
He didn't. That's impressive, Coach. I couldn't have even told you this with Arkansas players. Drew Nicholas was picked up as an undrafted free agent, but you were 4 for 4. Those 4 guys were drafted. So Steve Blake's name came a lot too. Juwan Dixon's. Got a little fun question for you at the end too. This one might be a little harder for you. All right, Coach. Coach McCracken, who is Indiana's all-time leading scorer?
Oh, crap. I should know this. It's Calbert Chaney.
It is Calbert Chaney. Can you give me the second all-time leading scorer?
The second all-time leading scorer is
familiar name, and he might have stepped in the gym once or twice, Hendrix Gymnasium, over the last few years at these coaching clinics.
Oh, Alford?
Yep.
There you go.
All right. So what we got?
I appreciate the additional hint.
There's a lot of names on that.
See, I mean, if you had told me, I can't tell you how many years Isaiah Thomas played at Indiana, but he would have been up there. I didn't see him in the top 5, so maybe 1 year. Was that it?
No, he played 2 or 3.
Okay. Lots of names I didn't know, but definitely knew Alford's.
A lot of them are in that early Bob Knight era, the 70s.
We'll get to that era in just a second. All right, Coach Gaeng, I don't mean to bring up heartache, but there will be some silver linings at the end. Maryland carried an 87-game non-conference winning streak into the 2002-2003 season until it was snapped by this team, who then y'all got payback on a year later at their place. They were number 1 ranked at the time y'all got payback.
2002, 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Regular season, non-conference streak. Does it have to be at home or no?
I believe this was at your place, and then y'all played them the year after and beat them. They were number 1 at the time when y'all beat them.
2002, 2003. I am going to say Michigan State.
It was Florida.
Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a good game.
What was that? That was Lon Kruger days? No, that may have been.
Well, if it had been Donovan, they would have won it. I think they won it in no.
Well, 2007 was Billy Donovan and them, wasn't it? Or
yeah, they won it 2 in a row. That's right. It was later.
All right.
Florida. Good question.
Mm-hmm. So now we get to switch it up. I'll go ahead and ask Coach McCracken. I have a feeling he'll be on to this one. Coach, you may not know the answer. This is a Maryland question. Just you're a really smart guy. So just by using logic, you should be able to get this one. It may take you a minute, but I think you'll get this. Which one of these teams did Maryland not beat during their 2002 tournament run? Wisconsin, Siena, Oklahoma, and Connecticut. Coach Gaeng, I need you to stay quiet because you probably already know it. Oh, well, there you go. You got it.
Because the Hoosiers.
Nice.
There you go. I see. That question was originally going to be for Coach Gaeng, but when I saw that it was Indiana, I was like, hey, I can actually ask Coach McCracken that. Yeah, exactly. So I can switch it around. And then I was going to ask you this one, Coach Gaeng, anyway. Well, there might be some love lost on this question. We're about to find out. Indiana won 5 national championships in the 20th century. Can you tell me the names of the head coaches that were responsible for them, as well as how many they're responsible for?
Of the Indiana head coaches, they've got 5 total in the 20th, you say?
Yes.
Oh, man, I don't mean Bob Knight has 3?
Yes. So you have 2 left.
Oh, man.
You're loving
I'm not going to know these.
Sandy's loving this one.
Woo! That touchline's going to be hot next year on the bench. Coach Gaeng, you might have to apologize to Coach McCracken after this one.
Are we talking about the Branch McCracken?
We were talking about the man, Branch McCracken.
I was going to say that, but I didn't know. Does he have the other 2?
He's got the other 2. He won the other 2. All right, Coach McCracken, this is a little bonus. I saw this. So the 2 championships it's your grandfather, right? Branch McCracken?
Great
grandfather. Okay. Oh, great uncle, my bad. So do you remember the team or teams that he beat in those 2? This is actually, I'll go ahead and give you a hint. It's who they beat this team twice in his national championships.
Was it Oregon both times?
It was not Oregon. This team is a modern-day powerhouse and has been for quite a while.
Kansas?
Yes.
Nice.
That's the team. So Bob Knight and Branch McCracken with the 5 national championships. I had to throw that one in there. I
thought he had one. I didn't know he had them both, and then I didn't want to be wrong.
All right, coaches, here's the first question. So Hoya Paranoia reigned in 1984 as Patrick Ewing helped Georgetown to its first national championship by defeating this team, who happened to have an equally awesome nickname. And Coach McCracken, we'll go to you on this one.
I think this you could quite possibly be talking about the best nickname that any college team.
For my money, it is the best.
I think I would have to agree with you. It reminds me a lot of my playing days. I'm sure Gaeng as well. And I'm going to go with Phi Slamma Jamma from Houston.
It is Phi Slamma Jamma. Was that Drexler and Olajuwon, if I remember?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, I don't remember because I wasn't alive, but my dad tells a lot of stories about that. All right. This competition might be a little more interesting than I thought it was going to be. So, second question, and there are 10 of these, by the way. Second question. After a 20-year hiatus, UCLA returned to the top of the college basketball world by defeating this team in the 1995 national championship. And since I have delivered wounds to you guys,
they beat the Hogs.
They beat the Hogs. Yep, we were going for a back-to-back. So, Coach McCracken, you were talking about nicknames. I like to pride myself on knowing all the nicknames. I have never heard this nickname until today, and I'm going to see if you two know it. This school won its first national championship in 1980, and this was most likely due to the nickname they had, the Doctors of Dunk. I've never heard this. I had no idea.
I've heard Doctors of Dunk, but I don't have it rolling off the tongue here.
1980.
I don't know how much this hint will help you, but they are in a conference they were not in at the time.
They're in a conference now
when they won the national championship, they were not in this conference. But they're a strong program, but they didn't win their first until 1980.
1980.
Louisville.
Yeah, nice, Coach.
So you guys had heard of that before, the Doctors of Dunk?
I did not.
Yeah.
I had not, yeah. Coach Gaeng, of course. But
I didn't get the teamwork.
Yep. All right, Coach Gaeng, you mentioned this in the first question. This one concerns that 1985 Villanova team. First of all, can you name either head coach at that time? Not Jay Wright.
Raleigh Massimino.
It was Raleigh Massimino, and can you tell me the seed?
They were a 9 seed.
Coach McCracken, do you agree with him?
8 seed, 9 or 8. Which one, Thad?
I'll go with his first. I'm going with his gut. I'm going 9.
Oh, it was 8.
Oh.
It was 8.
They were in that matchup.
Yeah. All right. This one might be this is a nickname I hadn't heard of either. There are many names for this team, but this one I hadn't heard of. This is for like a specific group of players. In the 1990s, this school went from being known as the Unforgettables to being the Untouchables. This might be too much of a hint.
UNLV?
UNLV, it was not UNLV. This went from a span. So this was like, when I say they went from being the Unforgettables to being the Untouchables, this was in quite a few years span. Let's just say this team had to dig themselves out of a hole that was not from their own doing and quickly built themselves up back to be a national powerhouse.
All right.
It would be like SMU winning a national championship.
Right.
Except shorter time frame for the comeback.
Kentucky?
It was Kentucky.
Nice.
So there were 4 players, I believe, that were designated the Unforgettables. They had their jerseys retired, but not the numbers. They wanted to retire the 4 guys who stayed around after the sanctions that were imposed under the Eddie Sutton era. So this one might be a little easier for you guys. Number 6, UCLA, amazingly, and this will probably be something that both of y'all do way before y'all retire, but UCLA won 10 of 12 national championships from 64 to 75. Who was the next team to win consecutive national championships? The first team to do it since. And recent memory says, I do not believe another team has done it since.
Well, Florida won 2 in a row.
I just talked about them earlier in the podcast, of course.
That second hint you gave me, yeah, I was going to say a little older than the Wooden days are a little too far back to remember who might have repeated after that, but that Florida team.
I'll give you a hint, Coach Gaeng. No, this one you should know. It was not Florida. That was my mistake for not remembering them, but it was not Florida.
Duke?
It was Duke, 91-92. You guys remember where you were when Leitner hit the shot?
I do.
Did you see it live?
I was a little young.
I do. Hang on a second. Let's wait for my wife to come back in and bring that Leitner shot up.
Oh, that's right.
You want to see some smoke rise?
She still hates Christian Leitner. I wish I'd interviewed her for that documentary. All right, number 7, we're going to stay with Duke. So Duke won consecutive national championships back-to-back, 91-92. They could have made it 3 out of 4 if it wasn't for this team.
The Hawks.
No. There we go. Coach McCracken's already got his I know you're from Indiana, but you're an honorary Arkansas citizen for remembering that one. This one's tough. And Coach Gaeng, I'm afraid that I may have pegged your age a little wrong here. This one may have been a little before your time. Coach McCracken too, but we'll see if you guys remember the name at least of the player. So 3rd seed North Carolina was taken out in the first round of the NCAA tournament by this team in the Pacific Northwest that was led by Harold the Show Arsenault.
Carolina, they got upset by Weber State, but that wouldn't be it. Who else would they have been knocked out by early?
Coach Gaeng, you may want to stop talking for a second and confer with Coach McCracken. I think you might want to hear what Coach McCracken, what he might have any suggestions, because I don't know, maybe if he gets the answer right. I may have spoiled it, but
Did you say what year?
Any guesses?
Did you say what year?
Oh, gosh, I can't. Let me see if I can get you a year real quick.
Carolina was a 3 seed.
Wow, I got this wrong, Coach Gaeng. This was during your time.
And what was the name of the led by who?
Harold the Show Arsenault. I got the dates wrong. So that might give you some hints.
Out of the Pacific Northwest.
I have neither
14
denied nor confirmed any guesses so far.
Was it right? I thought
You got it right.
I
You
thought
got
I
it
had-
right, Coach Gaeng. I messed up. I didn't give you the date.
I think of the ones that I knew of.
It was Weber State. Yep. Gosh, he got it right off the bat. I'm just looking at Coach McCracken like, all right, he got it. Let's see what he has to say now.
You were just setting me up to fail.
I am not. Gosh, I was surprised. All right, we got 2 more. We're going to save the best for last. Number 9. This team is the only team to have ever scored 100 points in a national title game. They won. I can't imagine you would lose if you lost by more.
Nobody else got to 100.
Nobody else got to 100.
First team or only team?
I believe they're the only team. Yeah, no team since has scored 100. No team before them scored 100.
Thad, I mean, it has to be in the 3-point era, right?
I would think.
It was. You guys will hit yourselves when I give you this answer. Hopefully I can't make it any more obvious than that.
Well,
Coach Gaeng, you mentioned their name earlier.
Is it the Running Rebels?
It is the Running Rebels.
Yeah.
They got 103, I believe. So there was an NCAA tournament game. Yeah, 103 to, I think it was in the 70s. It wasn't really close.
One big, sure.
Yeah. There was one game I saw. This was I think you guys will know the name of the coach, but it was he's Paul Westhead. That was the guru of Go, wasn't it?
Yeah, Loyola Marymount.
Yep,
They were scoring them.
There was one game they played in Michigan where it was 147 to 112.
Oof.
So, yeah. That's something. All right, last question. In 1996, UCLA was stunned by this team. We're saving the best for last because we're going to represent the small schools here. They were stunned by this team with a classic backdoor layup as time expired.
Come on, Coach. You got this.
Coach Gaeng, you have it, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I think.
What's the team game? Say it.
Princeton.
Yep. It was Princeton.
Go.
Yep. I was thinking about giving y'all a hint about the clothing that both of y'all are wearing. Coach Gaeng's got Princeton colors on his head. Coach McCracken, you've got Princeton colors on your shirt. So it was Princeton.
I don't own anything. I don't own anything but.
That's right. That's right. All right. I believe that you guys answered all of those except for the seeding of Villanova, but that one's hard to get. So overall, y'all had a pretty good round. So
he had it. His phone a friend didn't work out.
There was multiple choice is what it was. We didn't get it.
So I'll have to go through these later to figure out the entire score, but definitely an impressive showing by both of y'all. I think I told y'all before we started recording that I just got done playing, and it occurred to me this morning that it would be hard for me to tell y'all my stats from freshman, sophomore year, hell, even maybe my junior year. So not
about the wins.
That was very tough. Exactly. That was very tough. Yeah, I know. I should have gone back in time and looked at more box scores and see if y'all could remember scores from important games that y'all have played. I thought about that, but y'all did very well.
The questions were great.
I will say, though, Coach McCracken, I can't believe you hold the record for most three-pointers. And I feel like Hanover, hopefully they don't catch wind of this. I don't know.
Trust me, my teachers won't be surprised.
But now you know. So, Coach, what's the school record for three-pointers in Hanover?
Oh, crap.
Coach Gaeng, what's the record?
266?
It is 216 for career. And then the single season record?
76.
It is 76.
Okay.
There we go. So now we know. All right. Well, guys, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for doing this.
Yes, it was.
Hopefully,
thank you, Sandy. That was awesome.
This will be the first of many, and you two are both multi-talented. So this may not be the last time we get y'all on here. We may have to get different opponents on, and do some different sports, do some different things. I
Ready.
do know that there's a resident trivia expert. Well, obviously we have, Coach McCracken did pretty well. Coach Gaeng, you're pretty darn good at this, and we might have to get you going up against one of the best trivia guys I know, in Coach Buck Buchanan. So that one might be
we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. This was the first time we've done this, first Coaches Trivia Challenge. So thanks to both of y'all for doing this, and hopefully we'll get y'all more involved, and we'll be able to do stuff throughout the rest of this semester. It's almost over, but just to celebrate the spring sport athletes and spring sport coaches and all that. But it was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Sandy.
Great. Yeah, thank you, Sandy.
Thank you very much.